Hello, and welcome to the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences Research Institute introduction session. My name is Dr. Harpreet Singh, and I'm the Acting Faculty Head of Research within the faculty. Before I make a start, I'd just like to introduce my colleagues. So we have Dr. Mohammed Al-Sawi and Dr. Scott Yates. So Mohammed, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Harpreet. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Mohammed Al-Sawi. I'm a senior lecturer in pharmaceutical sciences. I'm based in the School of Pharmacy, and I'm heading research students of the Leicester Institute for Pharmaceutical Development in the School of Pharmacy, or LIPI for short. Yeah.
Hi, I'm
Scott.
Scott Yates. I'm an associate professor in the Division of Social Work and Youth and Community Development in the School of Applied Social Sciences, and I'm the Institute Head of Research Students for 3 institutes across the school: the Institute for Psychological Science, the Centre for Research and Reproduction, and the Institute for Research into Criminology, Community Development, Education and Social Justice. A long name for that one.
Thanks, Mohammed and Scott. The aim of this session is to give you guys an overview of the key research areas the faculty's got to offer. So what we will do, we will look at some key research areas. We also look at some of the research degree opportunities the faculty has got to offer, and also maybe talk a bit about the support mechanism in place that is available to postgraduate research students within the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences. I'm hoping that you've enjoyed the day so far. I know there's been excellent talks in the morning, discussions that we had in terms of roundtable discussions with our PGR students. There was also an opportunity for you guys to also explore a bit more about how to write a research proposal. And so hopefully what we're trying to do is not with providing the overview of the research within a faculty, but also give you an opportunity at the end to answer any Q questions and answers you might have. So before I start, I just want to maybe outline some of our sort of vision and motives of research that take place within our faculty. And we are quite proud of the research within HLS. And some of the research that we're conducting makes a real difference to people's lives, and it strives to achieve excellence with impact. Our key strength lies in applied interdisciplinary research, and we have very extensive collaboration partners that we conduct these research with, and these include industry, various charities, public sector, and various professional bodies and community groups. There are several sort of research institutes and centres within the faculty which undertake a wide range of research, and hopefully we'll go through each individual sort of research institutes and centres and describe you a bit more about detail about the research conducted within these different sort of themes and units we have. So just give you a bit of a flavour, the research areas that we cover range from research areas including laboratory-based projects. We have research areas in social sciences, healthcare practice, and models of provisions as well. So in total, the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences have around 7 research institutes. And I would like to start off with the Leicester Institute for Pharmaceutical Innovation. And to talk a bit about this institute, I would like to invite Mohammed, who is the Institute Head of Research for this institute, to talk a bit about the research areas and themes within this institute. Over to you, Mohammed.
Thanks, Harpreet. So in LIPI, or Leicester Institute for Pharmaceutical Innovation, we have different areas of research going on, and actually this doesn't mean that we're isolated from each other. We all work together, because pharmacy as an area is very interdisciplinary. So we have different areas of research that includes pharmaceutical technologies and nanomedicine, and in this area we focus in our research more on the development of new formulations for medicines, and also the technology behind the development of these formulations, with also a flavor of nanotechnology and development of nanoformulations for a variety of diseases with, of course, particular interest in neurosciences and cancer research. We also have chemistry for health and environment, and in this area of research or sector of research, we have different areas like medicinal chemistry, where we work on developing new drug candidates for new therapeutic targets as well. Also, we look at the treatment of waste that comes out from the pharmaceutical development and industry, and the chemistries used to treat this waste to save our environment. We also have another area of research, which is applied and molecular microbiology and infectious control. And this area is quite active in different directions. Mainly, we look at the infection control and resistance to antibiotics and antimicrobial agents. Also developing different materials and biomaterials and fabrics that are antimicrobial for different applications. Of course, we have, are very active now in researching in the virology area. And in the especially we are looking, some colleagues are looking at the COVID-19 now, and the effect of environmental conditions and fabrics on the attachment and the activity or viability of coronavirus. Another area of research as well in the school is pharmacy practice and public health, and this is more focused on the practice element and healthcare element of the pharmacy profession. This doesn't mean that we only accept a registered pharmacist on this area, but you can be, a pharmaceutical scientist or a pharmacologist that want to explore a healthcare area. So you can still, do a research, in this area. Another area of research is forensic sciences and toxicology, and this covers different areas of science of criminology and toxicology, and there is a lot of chemistry as well going on in this area. And finally, we have pharmacology and neurosciences, and actually pharmacology is one of the backbone sciences in pharmacy in general. And in pharmacology, we look at different systems. So we have very particular interest in neurosciences, but also we look at other areas like cancer and cardiovascular diseases. Well, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's quite interdisciplinary and work in collaboration together. So quite likely that if you do, for instance, a PhD or MRes in one topic, you will have more than one supervisor. One is, for instance, if you're doing PhD in nanomedicine, you will have somebody from nanomedicine, and then a collaborator who is probably your second supervisor from the pharmacology or the cancer biology research for the application of the formulations you are developing. And by this way, in these projects, you will be exposed to different research and techniques as well. And the research culture is quite inclusive in the school as well. So basically we have research seminars for staff members, but we welcome postgraduate students to be involved in those seminars, and also to not just inviting them to attend, but also participate by presenting their research from the PhD or MRes project. And get feedback from colleagues, and basically try to open channels for collaboration between colleagues. And this is not only centralized to the school. Also, you'll find people from colleagues from other schools in the faculty as well. So we do this overall the faculty as well. So that's pretty much it from my side. Harpreet from the pharmacy.
Thank you, Mohammed. Thanks for that. Again, we now come to a cluster of sort of institute which sort of belong to the school or sort of social sciences, and they consist of the Institute of Psychological Research. We got the Centre for Reproductive Research, and obviously the Institute of Criminology. So what we'll do is I will pass this over to Scott now, who might want to talk a bit about these institutes in a bit more detail. Scott, over to you.
Yeah, so the institutes that I'm going to be talking about, they span really the breadth of interest across the social sciences, and there's quite a lot of areas of interest to cover. And I kind of realised as I tried to pull this together to present how much work is being done in how many different areas across these institutes. I'm going to take them one at a time, which is the straightforward way to do it. I'm going to start with the Institute for Psychological Science, which we currently have 18 research students registered within the institute, and it's very active in terms of members of staff taking part in research projects as well. And psychology is quite a broad discipline with lots of different sub areas and different methodologies and different areas of interest. And the institute also really reflects that. There's been a variety of research partners and funders across the institute, from kind of the research councils, Leverhulme and the British Academy, through to things like Macmillan Cancer Support, Airbus, and EU funding. And as it's quite broad, the institute is actually divided into three kind of research groups, each with a different group coordinator. So it functions as an institute with an institute leadership, but reflecting the differences of interest within psychology as a discipline. There are also distinct research groups within it with a coordinator running each of them. So one of these is the group that's interested in health psychology, which looks at a variety of topics where they're interested in studying the experience and psychosocial impacts and interactions of health conditions with human psychology and behavior. So there are interests here in things like health communication, around issues of sexual health and mental health, around psychosocial factors, around various chronic health conditions, around things like Parkinson's, thalassemia and sickle cell, endometriosis, and also the psychology of food, diet and eating, things like eating disorders, weight loss, dietary variety and consumption. There's the group interested in cognition and neuroscience, where there's a focus across the kind of ranges of interest in things around human cognition, drawing on computational models, neurological models and mechanisms. Particular interest and a lot of research activity around things like reasoning and rationality, which has been a big area within the group, quite a few outputs. Things like emotions, emotional processing and emotional regulation, visual perception and memory, culture and cognition, the interpretation and display of facial expressions. And then there's the group interested in social, culture and personality psychology. So quite different focus, a very broad remit, lots of different theoretical positions, lots of different methodologies, but a group of researchers and research students who are united by an interest in issues of identity, society, culture. So lots of work around things like gender and sexual identities, migration and identities, minority identities, social and cultural understandings and change, and so on. And there's also the psychology and technology group as well, interested in how the interface between the use of technology, particularly kind of online technologies, and human behavior and its impact on human psychology. So work here on things like uses of the internet, applications and uptakes of technology, and things like cyberbullying and experiences of internet use. So a lot going on there, and right across the range of areas of interest in psychology. I'll move on to the Centre for Research and Reproduction. It's a much smaller institute in terms of staff numbers and student and research student numbers. We currently have 6 research students in this centre. but very active in terms of its research projects and outputs, and lots of high-profile funding from the research councils and the NIHR funding streams. And this is a group concerned and interested in pretty much all aspects of the experiences and impacts of human reproduction, reproductive technology, parenthood, childbearing, and so on. So there have been some quite notable projects in recent years on motivations and experiences around egg donation, around men's experiences of becoming fathers through surrogacy, around people's experiences of fertility treatments, around decision-making processes, intergenerationally and individually, around how people take up and identify fertility treatments that are most suitable for them. And finally, the Institute, this is the longest name, the Institute for Research in Criminology, Community, Education and Social Justice. It's the largest institute in terms of research students. There are 35 research students currently registered within this institute, so very active in terms of research students undertaking project work in this area. And as you can tell by the name, it kind of encompasses quite a lot of work in disciplinary terms. And there are three main active groups within this institute where a lot of work is going on. There's the group interested in sexual violence and domestic violence, which is a interdisciplinary and also cross-faculty group in that it draws in expertise also from business and law, from computing, engineering and media, and from art, designs and health and humanities, as well as health and life sciences. So here is interested in all elements of the experience and the social policy and the management of sexual and domestic violence in a very cross-disciplinary manner. There's the Institute for the Education Research Group within the Institute, which focuses on a range of research around education and pedagogy, things like entrepreneurship education and its experience and effectiveness, things like political economies of higher education, music education, environmental education, education in prisons, so a wide range of things across education as well. And again, there's a very active research student and staff activity and lots of high-profile funded research around these areas as well. And the last one I need to talk about is the policing research group within the Institute, which is interested in, as you would guess, all elements of dealing with crime, policing, and social and policy responses. So in particular, we're seeing quite a lot of work in violence in the nighttime economy, burglary and strategies for burglary reduction, experiences and implementation of strategies like stop and search, community management of sex offenders, the use and function of multi-agency public protection panels, problems of effective policing of large events, large public order issues, and again, a lot of high-profile funding and high-profile research going on there as well. So there's an awful lot across the School of Applied Social Sciences, and we hope that all of you will be able to find, with an interest in those areas, will find somewhere you'll be able to fit in within one of these institutes and their subgroups. Okay, I'll hand back to Harpreet now.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for providing detailed information about those different institutes. I'm going to move on now to the Institute for Allied Health Research Sciences. So this is the institute that I am a part of, a member of, a key member. And again, this is one of another institute which is very research active. And I think second to the pharmacy one, we've got quite a lot of PhD and research students that are situated within this particular research institute. So the research institute has divided into further 4 research themes. So we have the biomedical and environmental health research theme, We have the health and well-being research theme, and the nutrition and metabolic health researching, which I sort of lead and look after. And also, we also have the sickle cell and thalassemia research theme, very small group, research group, which looks into sickle cell and thalassemia. The biomedical environmental health research theme is the most sort of research active within this institute, and it covers areas looking into environmental health and general human health. And again, it's a very multidisciplinary type of research that take place within the institute. We have areas in looking in areas of biomedical science, biotechnology, bioinformatics, genomics, proteomics, a key range of sort of lab-based sort of disciplines that this particular research group is able to offer. And they covered to areas from parasitology to cardiovascular disease to immunology and environmental health as well. A very active sort of research group, and as I said, most of the research funds that contribute to research range from MRC, BBRSC, and IHR, so research funds here. The nutrition and metabolic health research theme, which our lead is, again, it's just recently been established, and it's been growing over the last couple of years. And some of the research that we offer in this area looks at exploring areas of weight management, healthy living, healthy lifestyle. We have several lab-based projects in metabolic health, and I have several sort of a couple of PhD students that are looking into certain metabolic components and their impact on cardiovascular function. We're also looking at one or two PhD students looking at the effects of the COVID has, and we're looking at maybe how natural products might be used in helping patients who have this have the virus, and how they can help them manage their sort of condition. So the research conducted within nutrition and metabolic is very sort of current. It's all to do with food, diet, weight management, and again, as I said, this sort of research team is growing every year with other supervisors or research active staff that are part of this particular research theme. Obviously, as I said, we've got the health and well-being research theme, which is led by Dr. Esme Hanna. Again, she's very active research at the moment. I think currently she's away conducting some research on a research grant that she has currently been awarded. And also we have the sickle cell and thalassemia. So a research group. This is led by Professor Simon Dyson, and they've able to produce very sort of key publications which have had impact and allowed to sort of change sort of a public perception in this particular condition. So, as I said, Institute for Allied Health Science Research, a very active research institute, which have several sort of PhD students from different backgrounds, from lab-based to sort of more applied sort of research that take place within this institute. So that's the Institute for Allied Health Science Research, and I'm going to move on finally into the final two research institute, which is more to do with sort of health science and health policy, and they are the Institute for Health Policy and Social Care, and we have another sort of research centre called the Mary Seacole Research Centre. So, as from the name suggests, the research areas that take place within both these institutes are more to do with sort of nursing and midwifery. We also look into mental health and sort of disability. Another key area that is explored within these two research themes is sort of dementia care, ethnicity and health, diversity research in health as well. So most of these researchers, we have key interests with external partners, especially the trusts, and a lot of research, a lot of funding, especially from the NIHR, comes through within this institute, and a lot of professional individuals PhD students tend to be enrolled onto this course, which to enhance their further sort of careers perspective. But again, this research area more explores the health and mental health aspects in both these centres. Hopefully, we have given you a brief snapshot of some of the research areas and the key research themes, and I can see we have posted a link onto the comments box. So if you need any further information in terms of further detail and who to contact regarding anyone within these research institutes, do follow that link, and they will take you to the research institutes, and there's more information on there for you to sort of have a look and explore and contact when required. So what I want to do now is I want to sort of move on to in terms of talking a bit about the research programs we have to offer within our faculty. So those which have attended the morning session might have already got a grasp in terms of the research programs De Montfort University has got to offer, but within the faculty, very similar to other faculties, we offer the traditional route of PhDs. You can do that on a part-time or a full-time basis. But one of the other programs we also offer is called MRes Research Project, Master by Research. So this is on a full-time basis, it's usually a year research program. On a part-time basis, it can extend to 18 to sort of 24 months. On top of that, we also offer international PhDs, and these programs tend to allow potential research students to be based overseas whilst undertaking their PhD projects. So students just need to identify a supervisor at De Montfort, and hopefully they will work alongside a joint supervisor at their students' institute. And yeah, we have a number of international PhD students that have been enrolled onto doing PhDs or research programs within our faculty over the past years as well. Another sort of route that we will be offering fairly soon is a PhD through to extended professional practice. This route is available to sort of professionals or practitioners with substantial professional experience at a senior level, and hopefully this route will allow them to demonstrate their portfolio achievements and to have an impact in their professional knowledge or contribute in the existing sort of understanding within their area. So this is still under review, and hopefully there'll be some key areas or key disciplinary subjects that we'll be able to offer through this route. So hopefully more information on that will be sort of available on the web pages in the near future to if anyone's interested in to sort of apply through this particular route. The only difference is obviously if you want to do this as a full-time basis rather than the 3-year traditional time, you're only required to do this within the 2-year period. And finally, what we also have opportunity for research students to visit to certain research institutes as well. So what we offer is a visiting research student program. So they can visit, any students can visit De Montfort University, and these can range from a period of 1 month to sort of 12 months. So this is a good opportunity to gain sort of experience within lab or research skill or anyone else sort of research area. Students can apply for this particular route to spend a particular period of time to gain that experience as they require. I just want to bring out now Mohammed and Scott to see whether they want to maybe contribute to what I might have missed anything, or maybe add any other comments that you would like to add. Mohammed, do you want to start off with maybe if there's anything I might have missed out, or maybe you want to add in terms of the programs we might have offered?
Yeah, thanks, Harpreet. I think you pretty much covered most of the degrees we offer in the faculty, which mirror what we offer in the university as a whole. I'd also want to highlight that we have, especially for lab-based research, we are equipped with very good research infrastructure and facilities, and those research facilities are shared among the institutes in the faculty. So it's not only for a certain group or a certain school, but it's shared between us. I mean the main ones. For instance, we have a hub for electron microscopy that is shared between us and other schools as well. I'm sure that especially Light Health as well use the same facilities. So we have scanning electron microscopy, atomic force microscopy. We have also nuclear magnetic resonance, or NMR hub, which is again one of the main infrastructure, 600 megahertz, which is really high frequency for the structural elucidation of compounds, and can be suited for macromolecules like proteins and DNA. So it's very fancy piece of equipment. We have also microbiology labs and cell culture labs for laminar flow incubators, and different types of optical microscopy around as well. So in terms of the infrastructure, we're very well equipped with this. Also using this infrastructure, because using this basically is normally costly, and in many research institutions in other places you will have to pay cost of time for using these facilities, but this is not the case in the faculty. So you can use many of these research facilities without having to pay for the time of using these facilities. So I don't know if you, Harpreet, want to add anything, or maybe Scott as well, on this.
No, I think that was a good summary as far as I think the institutes within the schools that I look after are concerned. Thank you, Harpreet.
That's great. Thanks for that. So what we're going to do now is finally move on to the sort of research culture and the support we offer within our sort of faculties. And again, I would like to get sort of opinions from Scott and Mohammed, and I'll probably start off first. In terms of research culture, we thrive to sort of have a good research culture, and we hope that our students experience that come and do their PhDs, go after, once they're complete, again that sort of so result belongingness and gain that research experience they gain over the sort of 3 or 4 year period they spend with us doing a PhD. And I just want to give you an example of some of those sort of research events that we hold within the faculty, and each, obviously, along with the regular research seminars that each research institute hosts, we also on a regular basis invite guest speakers, which are offered to students to participate. And what we're trying to encourage is to encourage students to take part or attend these research seminars across the university. So these research seminars tend to be advertised centrally by the Doctoral College to all our postgraduate research community, allowing the opportunity for students to reach out and meet people, communicate, network, and also hear about other research taking place within the university. We also this year have started to run a 3-minute thesis event. So this is an event, as the name suggests, it's a sort of a competition stroke event that is offered to our postgraduate research students, which allows them to sort of showcase their research within 3 minutes. And this year, faculties have taken control of that, and we will be hosting this event early next year for picking up the best sort of 3 candidates, so that they can be take part in the central Doctoral College type of competition, which then can be submitted nationally to compete nationally with other postgraduate research students. We also, just before the lockdown, we're organising a HLS research conference, and the uniqueness about that was, obviously, this conference was going to be driven by our PGR students, and we had various PGR sort of research clusters developed, and they were driving this sort of research conference to be delivered back in March. But due to the lockdown, unfortunately, we couldn't deliver that. But we will be visiting this area now with the option for us to host these conferences virtually. It's made it more easy for students to participate and take part with this conference. So that's another initiative that we're hoping to sort of organize on a yearly basis, to allow students to organize a research conference so that we can showcase the breadth and depth of research that's taking place within the faculty. I just want to go back and move on to sort of Mohammed and Scott, just to maybe share what sort of examples of sort of research culture is promoted within your institute. So Mohammed, if you want to start off with pharmacy, are there any sort of programs or research seminar type of initiatives that are developed within the pharmacy? If you'd like to share
yes,
that with
thanks, Harper. Yeah, so as Harper just mentioned now, in most of our research institutions, we'll have research seminars that are done regularly. We have this bi-weekly in the School of Pharmacy. And the way we structure our seminars are quite friendly for students, especially postgrad students. Of course, you are invited to attend, but also to participate by presenting your work in a friendly environment. So normally you will have a staff member giving a presentation on his group work, and then a postgrad student giving a presentation on his work. And this kind of interaction is very interesting and important for developing your research skills, your presentation skills, communication skills, and ability to also build channels of collaboration with colleagues and peers. And quite likely that there are many collaborations that emerge out of those seminars. So between students and between research groups, and we realize that sometimes we complement each other, but we need to have these interactions really to identify this. Yes, so this is mainly the research seminars we do, and also as you just mentioned, Harpreet, we have the faculty conference that is done yearly. We haven't are we doing one virtually, or what are the plans for next year, Harpreet, for this?
Yeah, so currently in discussions with our current sort of students to have that in place. So hopefully we'll have something in place, or organize something in place maybe in the Easter time. But that's something that we're currently having a discussion with the postgraduate students to discuss, to see what their thoughts might be on that, on hosting a HLS research conference. But thanks, Mohammed, for that. Scott, do you want to maybe add anything? Is there anything sort of examples of seminars that the research institutes?
Yeah, I think it's similar to what Mohammed says, that across all the institutes, and quite often within subgroups within the institutes, that we see, there's a drive that we see research students as an integral part of the research culture of the groups. There's kind of a lot of crossover because we have members of staff who are also doing their PhDs, and we have people who graduate from their PhDs and then go on to take part in projects with the group. So I think there's a real importance that we encourage people to take an active part in the research groups, from presenting papers, from attending, and from pursuing collaborations as they come to the end of the PhDs. In the School of Applied Social Sciences too, I think it's also important to bring everyone's attention to the doctoral training program that we have, which we've been developing for a few years now, and it has quite a number of available workshops that cover pretty much, we hope, all the elements of going through and a PhD, in terms of what each part of a PhD requires, the processes you'll go through on your journey, and the dilemmas and things that you'll have to resolve as you work through it. These are open to everybody across the university. They're focused within the School of Applied Social Sciences, so there's a social science focus, but they are open, and we have attendees from everywhere. And not only are these very useful learning experiences for people coming to produce their thesis and do their research, but there's also an important way in which they provide a method of kind of peer contact between people who may not normally come together in their research institutes, but attend a doctoral training program, even from different faculties. And within the workshops, we build in time for peer learning, peer reflection, and it's a chance for people to talk over the progress of their research, the issues they're facing, how the key things that they're thinking of, and their intellectual development, not only in terms of learning, but sharing with each other and people they may not otherwise come into contact with in other research institutes, groups, and even other faculties. So that, again, is something that we strongly encourage people, both within and outside the School of Applied Social Sciences, to consider taking part in.
Thank you, Scott, for that. Again, I just want to finally now finish off and just briefly talk about the support, and then hopefully we can open the floor for any questions and you might have. Just finally, just to finish off in terms of obviously the support mechanism we also offer. Again, Scott has probably alluded on terms of the doctorate training program that we offer to students. Again, I know it's the School of Social Sciences that you provide these sort of training programs, but these are offered to all of our students, and they're very useful. And they're very, very useful. And I've had good feedback from students that have attended the certain workshops and training programs that we have to offer. On top of that, obviously, apart from your supervisor, we have the team. Obviously, we've got myself, the faculty head of research student. We've got the various institute head of research students, which you can approach for any support or guidance. On top of that, you also have we have dedicated each year. We have what we call postgraduate research representatives, which tend to raise any voice or concerns our PGR community, HLSP community might have, and they can raise it to certain senior managements in terms of as they sit on those research committees within the faculty, but also within the university as well. We also have the dedicated team from the Research, Commercial and Innovation Office, which can help in organising events for students and seminars. On a regular basis, we tend to have a social. So again, we are thinking of going forward, current climate, hosting some virtual sort of social events for our PGR students to take part and also support them in their sort of journey. And just a good opportunity for everyone to get together. The other sort of role, also the Research, Commercial Innovation Officer, has also helped in managing bench fees. Especially for LabBased, there's some bench fees involved, so they'll be involved in helping in managing bench fees, but also help in the process of ethics applications and etc. So hopefully this is sort of a support mechanism that we have, and I'm happy to sort of pick those detail if you need further guidance. But I'm just a bit conscious of time. We've got sort of maybe 15 minutes left now, so I just want to open it up to everyone now for any questions and answers, and hopefully myself, Scott, and Mohammed will be able to sort of answer any queries you might have. So we want to see on the comments if anyone's put any questions, and then we'll just take it from there. So see a question come up now. So is there any support for students to attend research conferences? Yes, there is. So yeah, I can start off this. So there is. So what we do, the university offers, Doctoral College offers a DMU Conference and Research Development Fund every year. So we have a pot of money that students can apply for, and it's so this year, the deadline for putting this application a couple of months ago, and I'm currently I'm under process of reviewing these applications. So if you'd like to attend any research conferences, do you want to attend any training courses which will help in aid into developing you as a researcher, but also helping contribute to your research projects. I think for this year there was a sort of you could apply to a maximum of £500, and obviously, yeah, they are reviewed and they are awarded to the sort of best sort of applicants who can really demonstrate how attending the conferences or these workshops will help and aid develop their research skills. So the short answer to your question, yes, we do support students with research skills via this De Montfort Conference and Research Development Fund process we have every year. But thanks for that question. Right, so this is an interesting one. How does the MRes differ from a PhD? Scott, do you want to maybe share some light on that, and I can probably chip in terms of differentiating the two programs?
Yeah, so the PhD is, across the various modes, a research-driven program where the entire degree is by obtained by the production of a significant contribution to knowledge through a thesis. The MRes is slightly different, where it's combines taught and research elements in a kind of modular way, where there's a significant dissertation contribution. There's a difference in length and a difference in requirement. The PhD, all thesis-based, and has this significant requirement to make an original contribution to knowledge. Within the MRes, you end up doing a smaller dissertation on a research-focused topic alongside research teaching modules. So they're different in structure and different in what you have to produce for the outputs, and different in length as well, the PhD being 3 to 4 years full-time and longer part-time as well.
Thanks, Scott, for that. Yes, again, I just want to find out, again, it is, again, sometimes students might not spend the whole 3 years, 4 years doing PhD, but they just want to of that research and research skills. So that MRes program does quite help for students who want to take part in some sort of research projects. But thanks, Scott, for providing some information between that. So I've got next question. University-wide initiatives available for PGR students? Yes, I can sort of answer that. So what we do, we're quite proud of an initiative that we run called DMU Global. I know, with the pandemic, these things have this year, but we offer sort of international global trips for our students, and then not only for our undergraduates, offer this initiative for our postgraduate taught, but also our postgraduate research students. And I think for this year, we've had a couple of our PGR students within our faculty that have been successful in being awarded these DMU global trips. So I just want to share you examples of one of my students. He's managed to secure a 6-month trip to place them somewhere in Europe in a research lab to gain a bit more experience about skills and research techniques, which hopefully will allow him to sort of develop a research program. So yeah, this is excuse me, one of the initiatives we offer as a DMU global sort of projects. Sometimes we also offer Erasmus as well, but these are very fair and few. But with the DMU Global Initiative in place, I think this is something that we are not offering to our PGR students as well. We also trying to implement to develop our PGR students. So we do offer our students the possibility for them to be affiliated or sort of trained within some teaching skills. So there's opportunity for students to also contribute or support our current programs with either as lab demonstrators or teaching assistants. So this is all dependent on supervisor and the supervisor team and spend on teaching, and this needs to be obviously made sure the dialogue you've had that with your supervisor, and especially with international students, there is some visa regulation, so there are some time but what we want to do, we want to develop our PGR students, and if need be, we can help and support our PGR students to get some sort of recognition in teaching, and we can offer an associate fellowship in the higher education academy. Examples that some wide initiatives that are available for our PhD students that they can take and benefit from. Mohammed, Scott, am I missing any, or is there any other initiatives that you think that our PGR students can benefit from?
Nothing comes to mind for me at the moment.
Yeah, I think you covered pretty much everything. I think also we have the 3-minute thesis. I think you mentioned about this, the 3MT program we have, and basically this is to showcase the research you're doing in your research program that is basically your PhD in 3 minutes, and it's you have first centralized, decentralized competitions in faculties, and then you can have the best 3 students from every single faculty will then compete university-wide. I think that's the initiative we have for 3MT this year, Harpreet, if I'm okay. Hello?
What questions we've had so far that has come through. But again, just want to finally just maybe highlight to you the link that's been posted in the comment box, that for further information on different research institutes, please click on the link. I also advise go on the Doctoral College webpage as well, which provides a bit more details about the research structure we have at De Montfort University, but also some guidance on writing a good research proposal as well, in terms of when we have your applications need to be submitted if you are interested in applying for one of the postgraduate research programs. But my advice will be to have a look through the research institutes. If there's any particular area that you find quite interesting in, or fit with interests, I suggest to send an email or get in touch with that particular academic, and hopefully then, with that initial meeting you can then start developing your research proposal and put in an application. You can always reach out to us, and we're glad to help and support and to further guide you if any further information is if you require that further information. But again, hopefully we've given you an insight, some information about our faculty, and looking forward, if hopefully we have maybe helped in convinced you in terms of picking or choosing to do one of your PhD projects in the near future. But finally, I'd just like to thank you for helping me to deliver the PGR research, and I hope everyone has a good day, and hopefully in some sort of capacity might soon. But thank you very much for your time.